Let the second round begin. Today, we got a lot of topics. The flagship topic of the day today is whether or not the Knicks and their star, Jalen Brunson, do they have the best player going into the series? Okay? Do they have the best player going into the series? Is he better than Tatum? We'll also talk about the Game 1 preview. We'll also talk about the playoff push, right? All of the recent news. Asar Thompson's ankles. Is his ankles okay? Of course, we got the smoke of the week. And we also got word on the street and much more on This Week Inside the Knicks. Welcome everyone to This Week Inside the Knicks. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibes. So, got an action-packed show, man. Listen, I gotta give a big time salute to everybody in the building. I see On Dios, the Supermod, in the building early. I see you, Darlene. Salute to you. And Crim's dad, I started the show. Crim's dad, by the way, Crim's dad, tell Crims I said hello. Sorry for my tardiness, but my Streamlabs was acting crazy. Well, we good now. Salute the Knicks will be champs 25-26. Hopefully my audio is okay because I can't see my levels, but I don't see nobody telling me that my sound is not good, so I'm just going to proceed as I want to proceed. Round 2 of the postseason. I'm very confident, not overconfident. I'm also not going to act as though the Celtics aren't a big favorite. Celtics are a huge favorite. I can't deny that. They are the favorite. Listen, I'm level-headed Knicks talk, the objective Knicks fan. I'm not delusional and by no stretch of the imagination. Okay? So we just got through a tough round 1. I didn't believe round 1 was going to be as tough as it was, but I got to give a salute to Detroit. They brought, the toughness, and they tried to make the series a very physical series and things of that nature. So, I got to tip my hat off to Detroit. I also got to tip my hat off to their veterans. I didn't think those guys would perform as well as they did, but they did, right? I did a 10 Reasons Why We'll Win show. So if you want to know why I think my official pick for this series is Knicks in 7. Of course, we coming off of the series with the Detroit Pistons. And this week inside the Knicks, we'll be talking about all the news between April the 28th to May 4th. We won game 6. We lost game 5. That would happen during this week's span. I'm not going to spend no time really breaking down the games. If you want to see some game breakdowns, I did a show, the Knicks call-up show. We talked about it. I'm just going to focus on a lot of the news items that took place around that time. Oh, also, I just came out with and I didn't talk to Maxine about it, but Game 5, because I think this series is going to go Game 7. So Game 5, I think I'm going to go to the watch party. You know how they do the watch party? Hopefully they do one for Game 5. So I'll keep you guys posted with that. Let's see how the series goes. Of course, I do think there's going to be a Game 5. I know some of us don't think that, but we'll touch on that later as well. I think I'm gonna jump into research mode. Any other updates, I'll just talk about it later. So I'm gonna jump into research mode. This podcast is dedicated to documenting the Knicks 365. Usually, if you give me 50 minutes, I give you the Knicks. Now, I do have a blog, thisweekinsidethenix.com, which has all of the news items that took place throughout the week. Great topics, things of that nature. You go to thisweekinsidethenix.com. You can go to 2025 playoffs. Click that, and it'll take you to episode 2. So you can see all of the articles and things that I'll be reading from. Now, on this website, it's going to have a whole bunch of things that, you guys may have seen, but it's going to have some things you didn't see. So if you guys are just, Knicks junkies and you want to keep track of all the news, you can go to This Week Inside the Knicks. So this is where I'm going to be reading off of, and we're going to start here. As I do on every podcast, I got to give special highlights, big time salutes, right? Carmelo Anthony, salute to the Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, who should have his jersey retired in Madison Square Garden. He actually got a job working with NBC. He's going to be there, and he's going to be on NBC next season. New York City salute to Carmelo Anthony. One of my favorite players coming up, not just because he's from Brooklyn, but, Keys County stand up, not just because of that, but because I loved his game. I felt like he, in the modern era of basketball, top 5, modern scorer, maybe not points wise, but just the way he went about getting the bucket. So anything Melo does, I'm going to follow him. And we talked about, a lot of the things that Melo has been doing from the Hall of Fame and things of that nature. But I just had to start off by giving Melo the salute that he deserves for getting that job. Seems like NBC is just snatching up all the talent. I think Stan might be on there too. Stan Van Gundy. A couple of people, NBC just snatched them up. And, salute to NBC. And I'm not gonna lie, I look forward to the theme music coming back. Yeah, anytime we used to get that, that music is just so iconic. When you heard those, to all my people that go back in the day basketball, you remember when NBC came on, I think the last time they broadcast was 2002. So anybody that goes back from 2002 and back, you guys remember that song. So classic stuff. Let me see. So the subway performer was attacked, right? But she was elected to perform the national anthem for the Knicks, right? So salute to the Knicks for giving this subway person that was attacked, right? And the woman got a chance to play the national anthem in MSG, which is kind of crazy. That's super cool. Salute to this person for getting the opportunity, and salute to the Knicks for making this happen. Okay. All right. Let me back out of here. Got some more feel-good stories. We always start with the special highlights. No worries if you're here. We're going to get to some of the topics. And you know what? While I'm here, these are some of the topics we're going to be talking about. Is Brunson better than Jayson Tatum heading into the series? I know I'm going to get a lot of smoke for that. I don't care. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. This is what I want to do. Hold on. Let me see if I could do this. I want to pull a poll in the chat. I'm going to put a poll in the chat because I want to know how you guys feel about it. Give me a second. I'm going to put the poll in the chat. I'm going to jump out of research mode when I do that. I'm curious because I just learned that I could do polls in the chat, and I think it'll be cool. Let me first though, let me see if I could get to the chat. Let me jump out of research mode. Jump out of research mode for 2 seconds. I'm curious to see how you guys. Oh, I jumped into the bumper. So I'm curious to see how you guys would feel about this. Give me 2 seconds. While I'm doing this, let me read the chat. Salute to APAP. NBC. Darlene says she remembers that song. All my people that go back to back in the days. When that song came on, you knew that basketball was serious. You knew that you were getting into some stuff. National TV game. Yeah, especially when it was in the playoffs. Oh, God. And how much even though, we love watching basketball, but them Bulls series, when you hear that song come on and we had the Bulls, oh, boy, it was crazy. Oh, boy, it was crazy. I'm getting ready to put this poll in the chat. I want to know what you guys think about Jayson Tatum and Brunson. Am I tripping? Am I bugging? Do you guys believe who's the better player entering the series, right? Is it Jalen Brunson? Is it Jayson Tatum? Okay, I'm curious to know what you guys feel. So you could put that in the chat too, but I'm going to get this poll up as well. So let me see what else you guys talking about. I recently found out my best friend of 40 years is Carmelo Anthony's cousin. Oh, salute to that. Salute to that. So, okay, start a poll. So here we go, guys. Who is the better player entering this series. All right. It's going to be up here in 2 seconds. Tatum. Brunson. I wish I would have known about this before. I would have been doing polls. All right, cool. Pal, start poll. All right, cool. You guys can vote for it now. It's live. It's live. It's live. All right, cool. Cool. I'm curious to see what you guys select. All right, let me move forward. Let me X this out. All right. So let me move back into research mode, and I got a couple of more highlights. Of course, we got to give a big time salute to Captain, right? Captain, he hit the Game 6 dagger. The Game 6 dagger. Asar Thompson. What happened to your ankles, my brother? Salute to Mike from PA. I got a short I'm going to put out. My man Mike from PA, he called into the call-up show asking if everybody's ankles was all right. Because, you know, after Brunson made that move and made that shot, we just had to make sure that the brother's ankles was okay. Okay? We had to make sure that the brother's ankles were okay. Let's see what's going on here. But yeah, Captain, let me see if I could play it. Hold on. Is the video here? Oh, the video's not. I would have played it right quick. But of course, we all saw the shot. There's nothing to play. Asar Thompson, you know, he thought that he was such an elite defender. I'm gonna get to, is Asar in the smoke of the week this week? No, I don't think Asar is in the smoke of the week. He was in the smoke of the week last week. So yeah, last week's smoke of the week, Asar Thompson talking about there was no challenge in guarding Jalen Brunson, and for it to end like that, you know, kind of crazy. So yeah, JB, he gets all the praise for hitting the big shot. That was a big moment. I was going crazy when I saw it. Household got mad. But hey, when a big shot is made in the postseason, man, it's just everything. Let me see. Okay, some more special highlights before I continue. The Knicks captured 3 straight road playoff wins for the first time in franchise history. Hello. Knicks fans, we have to be optimistic. We captured 3 straight road playoff wins for the first time in franchise history. Not this year, not in the last 20 years, not in the last 30 years. 3 straight road playoff victories for the first time in franchise. That's major to me because we're getting ready to go on the road tonight, and I'm going to preview the Celtics game before we get into some more playoff news and things of that nature. But I think that this Knicks team, you know, I'm fully behind these guys. Of course, I'm not saying, listen, if you don't think that the Knicks will beat the Celtics, that doesn't mean you're not a fan or nothing like that. I don't come from that school. But I'm going to say this. I personally think that we could make history. I think that we could knock off the defending champions, right? I gave 10 compelling reasons why. Go watch that video. I'm not going to revisit a lot of it. I might get into some of it. But, you know, one of the things that I feel like is on our side is that the parity that exists in the league right now, you don't have teams going on multiple year runs. Now, could Boston do it? Of course. I mean, the games haven't been played yet. Anything is possible. But I'm going to say this. In recent years, only the Los Angeles Lakers out of the last 6 NBA champions, only the Lakers have gone beyond the second round since they won the championship. Let that sink in. And by the way, the Lakers won the championship in 2020. Okay, they went back to the Western Conference Finals in 2023. So it took them 3 years to get back. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be Boston's fate, but it is something to consider. All right? It is something to consider. Let me see. So, yeah, I gave a big time salute for the 3 playoff road wins. I just feel like history, man, upsets are to be made. Oh, by the way, since we're talking about upsets, hi Cleveland. How you feeling? What have I been saying about Cleveland's perimeter defense? And it showed last night. If you didn't know, Cleveland lost the first game last night. Why can't we go in and do what Indiana did last night to the Cavaliers? 2 different teams, 2 different series, 2 different circumstances, but still. We're talking about I think Cleveland still is, well, maybe not now, but before the series started, they had I think them and the Thunder had the number 1 and 2 odds of winning the championship, and they lost the first game, right? And we know how valuable game 1 is of a series like tonight with us and the Celtics. The team that wins game 1 wins the series 75% of the time. So let's see what else I want to say. Okay, we got to give a big time New York City salute to Walt Clyde Frazier as well. He called his last game in MSG in the postseason, right? Because next year going forward, the NBA has made the push, and Dolan seemed to have lost the battle. And I was riding with Dolan on his regional network battle. So the regional networks will not be broadcasting postseason games going forward, right? We were lucky to get as many first round games as we gotten. But now we're not going to get no playoff coverage. So we're going to have to, unfortunately, watch the games on TNT and things of that nature. So Walt Clyde Frazier, this was his last year. I felt like that deserves a tribute because, Walt Clyde, to me, he's the reason why I never would do a national or a live play-by-play broadcast when the games are in MSG, because I like to listen to those guys talk. He and Mike Breen, to me, are two of the best in the business, or the two of the best in the business. So I think that, it's going to be a shame not having those guys in the postseason. And we got to listen to Shaq and all those dudes at halftime. And then we got to listen to, half the guys who don't even watch the Knicks like that commentate on the Knicks. And Nate Robinson, I'm going to give him another salute because we know that he needed a kidney donor and he got one. So recently he gave a big tribute to the person that donated the kidney to him and helped save his life, right? So, big time salute. And he met him and he gave him a hug. This is a picture of Nate Robinson and the donor. Once a Knick, always a Knick. That was always great news. I was happy that Nate got the kidney and, he was fighting for his life and he finally got it. And that was a pivotal moment there. So those are all my special highlights, right? Oh, I do got another special highlight because, I did get a channel member that I forgot to salute. Salute to K-Hub. Salute to you. New York City, salute to you for becoming a channel member yesterday. So I forgot to give him the salute. Wanted to give him a salute. I'll talk more about the channel memberships a little bit later. But if you're now watching the podcast, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 2 of the 2025 playoffs. I'm talking about all the news that take place between May 28th and May 4th, all of the hot topics and things that, kind of got the streets on fire. Now I'm going to get into some more Boston Celtics game 1 kind of preview stuff. Let me open up ESPN because I know Holiday's going to play tonight. I'm going to see what the updated odds are. Last time I checked the odds, we were we were plus 8.5. I think it changed. I think it might have went up. So I'm going to pull it up right now. Right? Tonight's matchup. So ESPN Analytics, they got the Celtics winning their matchup predictors by 67%. Right? Which this ESPN matchup predictor, I mean, it is what it is. But this is what I'm more concerned about. So, so they gained the point. We lost the point. So we're plus 9.5. Boston Celtics minus 9.5. Now, if you're a betting man, right, and you love the Knicks, hey, you should consider that bet. Plus 9.5. Let me see the money line. Plus 340 on the money line. Hey, I mean, and listen, when you take the plus 9.5, it doesn't mean the Knicks have to win by 9.5. They just have to win the game, right? So, I don't know. I'm not doing no parlays. This is not a parlay builder show, but I'm just saying, if you're confident in the Knicks, those are some good odds. But I do want to touch on, some of this stuff here. Jayson Tatum, playoff Tatum, and playoff Brunson. I'm gonna get into the comparison later, but both those guys are balling for real. I mean, this series, to me, I think is going to be way better than what the experts predict. Right now, it could have changed because this number changed. Yesterday, it was minus 8.5 for the Celtics. But yesterday, when I presented the numbers, the Knicks were a huge underdog. The Celtics were minus 800 to win the series. That's an 88% chance. So we are a very huge underdog. And I kind of like it. Jalen Brunson, he hinted towards the fact that, or not hinted, he actually exclaimed and stated that I like it when you guys don't want to pick us. I want to be the underdogs, right? It just makes me, focus better. So I'm riding with Jalen Brunson. I don't want nobody on our side. That's why I don't care if you don't pick the Knicks to win, right? I don't care. Now, my biggest issue, and I'm going to get to it in the smoke of the week, but I don't like that Knicks fans is picking us to get swept and get gentlemen swept. I mean, why are you a Knicks fan? It's one thing to think we'll lose the series. I don't got no problem with that. Okay, cool. I know we're not a favorite, right? But at the same time, to have us as, that much of a, underdog, or that to get beat like that as a fan, come on, dude. Right? I think rebounding, I'm curious to see tonight what the battle on the glass is going to be. I did a great explanation of that on the last live that I did yesterday. Definitely check that out. Double big lineup. I want to see how he utilizes the double big lineup. Drew Holiday is going to play. So the Celtics might not go as big, right? They usually bring the size in off the bench. They'll bring Horford and Cornet in together. So I'm curious to see how the Celtics are going to run their rotations in their lineups. Joe Mazzulla, he's very wacky. He's willing to try new things, different things. So I'm curious to see. And then, of course, the OG Anunoby, Jayson Tatum matchup. Will OG Anunoby be up for the task? And, of course, Jalen Brown, to me, is the X factor in that series for the Celtics. How will the Knicks defend him? Those are the things I'm curious to see tonight, right? I'm curious to see how those things go. Now, everybody's pretty much healthy, right? And, hey, yo, listen, man, this is what the games are played for. We can't just look at it and be defeatist and feel like, oh, we have no chance against the Celtics. You got to give yourself a chance, right? You got to give yourself a chance. Oh my God, hold on, sorry. My son was messing with my phone. I went to get my clock up. But anyway, so I'm going to move forward. That's my preview for game one. We'll see what happens tonight. Tonight, I won't be able to do a post-game show, but I will be doing post-game shows. For the Wednesday game, I will be doing a after midnight or around midnight post-game show. So I spoke about it on the call-up show that we will be implementing that. So I just wanted to also let you guys know that. I'm just trying to get my clock. Where's my clock? Okay, cool. Pow. Let me look into the chat before I proceed, see what you guys talking about. Salute to everybody in the building. If you just joined the show, hit if you're in the chat, you definitely subscribe. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you can know it every time that we go live. You hit the bell icon. A lot of content. I try to drop content every single day. So definitely hit that bell icon, subscribe so you know everything. Hit the like button as well. Like Maxine will say, get the likes up. Get the likes up. If you're watching, just hit the like button. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. And I'll talk about the channel membership a little bit later. Now, let me see. Knicks will be Chan says TNT is terrible. NBA on NBC was the best. Facts. Hey, yo, let me tell you something. While I like the TNT halftime crew with Chuck and those guys from an entertainment perspective, right? But I think where we are now with so many former players, getting media gigs and even fans and people who are very, I'm going to say, knowledgeable about the game, I think that when you're doing your commentary, you should at least have more substance to it. Like, it can't just all be entertainment, right? You got Shaq talking about Karl Towns had a great game. He played like a real big man tonight when he only scored 10 points. That shows me that you're not watching the game. And that's the things that I don't like, right? And that's why I don't listen to these people, because I can't listen to somebody who I watch more basketball than. I'm just sorry. If I watch more basketball than you, why am I listening to you? You're just going to give me some narrative, right? Some old media narrative that persists. Salute to you, Maxine. I see you in the building. Missy Yuri says, and I believe that Boston knows the Knicks are a team knows that they're a team to beat them. Facts. And Yuri, and I think I was gonna get to that if it's in my notes, but the Celtics have been very respectful. Unlike the Pistons that had the attitude, Brunson, there is no challenge guarding him and things of that nature. You see the level of experience with the Celtics, because the Celtics, to me, are handling these things a little bit more mature. They're giving the Knicks all the respect. So while you guys, and I'm not saying just you guys in the chat, I'm talking about to the Knicks fans who picked the Knicks to get swept or gentleman's sweep, while you guys are underestimating the Knicks, the Celtics are not underestimating the Knicks. I tell you that right now, right? And I will get into some quotes about what the Celtics are saying. Let me see a couple of more chats before I continue. Darlene says Brunson continues to prove himself. Facts. Oh, we got 16 votes. Okay, I'm gonna let the votes. I'll read the vote result once we get to the flagship topic, which is coming. And like, if you just joined, I'll put this up just real quickly so you guys can see. These are some of the topics we're going to talk about. I did talk about Asar's ankles. Hi, Asar. Hopefully your ankles are okay. Hopefully your ankles are okay. Salute to my man Mike from Harlem to PA. Let me see. We're going to be talking about the playoff push. That's what we're talking about now. I kind of did the game one preview. And we're going to talk about the playoff push and more. And no worries, I will get to the flagship topic, all right? Now, let me get back to the blog, thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. If you're wondering where I'm getting all of these sources from and websites, is on the blog, thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. Basically, the URL that's posted on the screen right below, okay? So let's continue. I talked about the 10 reasons. So, okay. All right. So now it's not just coming from me. This is Christian Whitfield from the Daily News, who is not somebody who always writes favorably about the Knicks, right? I feel like he's kind of like objective most of the time, Christian, even though sometimes I think that he's a little off the mark, but Christian overall does a great job. He says why the Knicks have a shot to dethrone the reigning champions, okay? Now, this is a good read. Where's the quote that I want? Let me see. The odds are long, but they're not zero. The Knicks were built for a series like this. I felt, and this is a quote from Jalen Brunson, I feel like we played better in that game. We adjusted from the first 3 times we played them, right? He's talking about, this is what Jalen Brunson's talking about here. He's talking about the overtime game. Obviously, it's still not getting it done, but we definitely played better, and we competed better than we did in the first 3 games. Facts. I feel as though the team that got swept by Boston, more in particular, the team that lost those first 3 games, this Knicks team is a little different than that team. One, the team that lost those first 3 games was not as good defensively as this Knicks team is today. This Knicks team today, way better defensively than that team. That team that got killed by Boston early on was like a 20th ranked defense. The last post All-Star break rankings, and we went through this, the Knicks were an 11th ranked defense in the league, or 10th ranked defense. Anyway, bottom line was we were right there. We got better defensively. We were from the 20s to the teens or the 10th. Can't remember exactly off the top of the head. I do got it somewhere. Listen, I'm not trying to go through all my notes right here. These are all notes. I don't feel like looking for it, okay? Just know that we are better post All-Star break. And also, 3-point defense. We finished in terms of opponents' 3-point defense, we finished at 26th. We gave up, 37.7% or just around 37%. That made us 26th ranked. However, post All-Star break, we moved all the way up and we were 4th, holding teams to 34%. So our 3-point defense is better. Overall defense is better. Mitchell Robinson showed why he can help, close the gap, so to speak, in that last game. So yeah, we are a different team. Like Brunson said, just to add to what Captain says, by the way, I am drinking from the Captain 11 mug today. It makes the drinks taste a lot better. So definitely check out this article. I think he makes some good. It's a lot in this article. I wish I could have highlighted stuff, But definitely check out Christian Whitfield article. This article, if I don't help you feel a little bit more optimistic, I think this article can also help you feel a little bit more optimistic, okay? So Christian Whitfield says we have a shot. I'm riding with that. Of course, Jrue Holiday is back, right? But we don't know how well he's going to be because he does have a hamstring injury, right? And Joe Mazzulla said he was able to do everything that we worked on. He's getting better every day. Okay, well, we're going to see. We're going to see. Hamstrings are definitely, well, all injuries are bad, but it's an injury that can be very debilitating. We remember Deuce McBride, right? He dealt with hamstring issues and he didn't play well, right? When he came back from his hamstring issues. Precious Achiuwa, hammy. I think he had the hammy too. I think that's why he missed the first 2 weeks. So, you know, the first, what was it? Not 6 weeks. I think it was about 2 months he missed or somewhere in between that time, right? So hamstrings is not something that's light, right? And for him to miss, a week? Because he played the first 2 games. For him to miss a week, and now you expect him to come back, I tell you what, he's a very important player because not only does he defend Brunson, he also defends Towns, right? And I know that sounds crazy, but he probably is their best defender. Even though White and Brown will get the most of the accolades and the look, because they, I guess, like, they do get the tougher assignments, but sometimes Jrue Holiday guards the center. Brown can guard the center too, because they do put Brown on the center sometimes, depending on the center. But White is not guarding centers. Okay, so yeah, Jrue Holiday he's an elite. He's elite defensively. They're gonna need a healthy Jrue Holiday. So if he's not 100%, and not only Jrue Holiday, I don't think I got it on the list. But Tatum is still dealing with what he was dealing with. And you know what? Let me look that up right quick, because I keep saying Tatum's injury, but I don't remember what part it was. So hold on. Let me real quickly, let's pull that up. Jayson Tatum injury. And I'm gonna go to our favorite website, our favorite injury website, real quickly, since I'm in research mode. Takes 2 seconds. Let's see. Is it here? Okay, where's my Fox Sports? There we go. Fox Sports. This is the best website to go to with injuries. Oh, okay, so the wrist. So this wrist injury that Tatum has, right? Joe Mazzulla said it was severe, right? And basically, it takes time to heal, right? It takes time to heal. Of course, this is the playoff. There is no time. There is no rest to heal. So we got to watch the wrist. Now, his first game back, which was actually at the game they lost to the Magic, that was game 3, he actually had a really good game. So I don't know if the wrist is going to inhibit his ability, but his wrist injury is about pain management. That I do know. Now, Jalen Brown also is dealing with a wrist, and he's also dealing with his knee. So the Celtics, even though they're playing, these guys haven't missed much time. Tatum only missed in 1 game. Brown didn't miss any games. It's still something to keep an eye on. I don't want to beat nobody who has, injured players, and now they want to use that as an excuse. But health is something to take a note of. Now, I know on the flip side, but what about Jalen Brunson? His ankles, right? His ankle, right? What about when Jalen Brunson said after every game, it hurts? What about that? The thing I want to say about Brunson's ankle, he didn't miss time. That's 1. 2, his movement doesn't look compromised. His movement doesn't look compromised. Now, Josh Hart, that's kind of a different animal with he said everywhere hurts on him, but you already know the hustle in Hart, right? But I think that the big difference between Josh Hart and a Tatum and a Brown is that those are the top 2 players. While we love Hart, Hart is not the top 2 player. I see a world where we still could win even if Hart couldn't go. Right now, you don't want Brunson missing time, but they don't want Brown and Tatum missing time either. So it's just something to keep an eye on when we talk about the health report, even though no one's on the injury report. Okay. Let me see what else. Let me see. Knicks adamant they could prove doubters wrong by playing with freedom. Let me see if they got the quote in here. Was it Josh Hart? Yeah, okay, cool. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Josh Hart, the most vocal Knick, he said, "I don't care." Right? If we're counted out already, listen to this, Knick fans. If we're counted out already, that we should play with a great level of freedom. We don't really care too much what the outside world says. We're focused on how we feel internally and going about it that way. Salute to Josh Hart. Since we are such an underdog, there's no pressure. There's no pressure. What are we concerned about? We're not supposed to win anyway. What can we do besides upset the apple cart? Oh, Cavs in Boston. Indiana showed you what happens when you know, not that series is over, but I'm just saying the way Indiana looking, I got to go back and watch that game because I started watching it late because I forgot that game was on. But yeah, I'm just saying, you got to play the game. Same thing with OKC. Great regular season team. To me, probably the best defensive team in NBA history. They still got to get it done in the postseason. They're going up against a Denver Nugget team that championship experience. And you can't write that off. Okay? You can't write that off. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Salute to the chat. Yuri says Knicks in 7. I'm riding with you, Yuri. Crazy Insane TV. Dude had 10 points and 15 rebounds and they complaining. Okay. All right. This is the first time I've seen this. No, this is not the first time I've seen this. Somebody on the call-up show, I think, also said this. But salute the King Q. Knicks in 6. Some fans are being scared. Yo, I'm riding with you. I'm riding with you, King Q. Knicks in 6. Why not? You go to Boston. You get a game. Maybe not tonight. Maybe it's game 2. You come back to the Garden. You feeling yourself. You got all the MSG faithful going crazy. You wins games 3 and 4. Uh-oh. Now they got to go back to Boston down 3-1. Boston going to have the most violent effort. They get game 5. And guess what? Now it goes back to MSG in game 6. And now the Knicks get to make the history winning in the Garden, something they hadn't done in so many years. I think they said it was 20-something years. And now you get the opportunity. Hey, King Q, you might be on to something. Let me see. Crazy Insane TV. They think because we lost all 4 games in the regular season, they think it's going to be the same. They don't understand that this is a different season. Anything can happen. That's a fact. And that's what I'm going to keep driving home. First off, there's no direct correlation between regular season success and postseason success. It's so, I mean, okay, cool. Let's have fun with this. Let's do this little exercise really quickly, right? Please tell me I got it right here. If I don't got it right here, then I don't think I could do the exercise because that means that my notes is lost in the sauce. Hold on 2 seconds because I'm going to play the game about regular season versus playoffs. Please tell me my paperwork is here. Oh my God, it's just too many notes. It's just too many notes. I'm going to try to find it because what I want to do is, right, I was going to go through the regular season success versus the playoff success just this year, just this season. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Oh man, what did I do with it? I had it somewhere. I had it last night. Oh, there. Okay, bam. See? Bam. Little soul searching. Bam. All right, cool. So we're going to play the regular season success versus the postseason success. Okay, we're going to play that game. So in the regular season, right? And this is for the regular season. If you win in the regular season, you'll win in the playoffs. This is just in this playoffs. Listen to this. The Oklahoma Thunder was 4-0 in the regular season against Memphis, and they 4-0'd them in the postseason, right? Salute to them. I'm not going to give them a round of applause. No. Okay, cool. So then you had the Warriors. They were 3-2 in the regular season against the Rockets, and they won the series in 7 games. Salute to the Warriors, right? Cleveland Cavaliers, 2-1 in the regular season, right, against the Miami Heat, and they swept them in the playoffs. Okay, cool. Now let's go on the flip side. I now want to talk about the teams that lost in the regular season, right? But won in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics, the mighty Celtics, they lost the regular season series to the Magic, and I don't want to hear no excuse. Oh, they didn't have these players, and so because they didn't have these players, it shouldn't count. No, we count all the games. The Knicks don't get no excuses. In the 0-10, there's games where we didn't have certain players playing and we lost the game and no one's giving that excuse. So you lost the regular season series. The Celtics lost to the Magic and they won the series. The Knicks, we lost to the Pistons and we won the series, right? What are we talking about? There's no direct correlation. Just because I lose in the regular season doesn't mean in the playoffs I'm going to lose. That's just this year. I don't even want to get into the 2-2s. I'm just saying, I'm riding with you, man. Let's go, man. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed and hit that like button. Everybody smash the like button. J-Tap, I'm riding with you. Knicks in 7. Crime's dad, ham and cheese strings. Yo, Crim's dad. I mean, I said Crime's dad, my bad. Crim's dad, I'm going to get Crims on you. What type of controversy you stirring up in the chat? Rockets versus Warriors is a big one. Okay. It's one of the examples. Ooh. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm just going to say Yoga. Warriors versus Knicks in the finals? That's major. I take it. Let's go. I want the man, and you know what? I would love to get the Warriors in the finals. Who's left? The Warriors, Nuggets. I don't want the Thunder. I ain't going to lie to y'all. I want to stay away from OKC. But I'll take the Wolves. Any other team I'll take in the finals. But besides the Thunder, I feel like the Thunder is going to be a problem. But any other team I'll take. I'll take the Nuggets. We swept the Nuggets. I'll take, not that matters. Once again, I don't want to contradict myself, but we had success against the Nuggets. I feel confident going into the series against them. The Thunder, whether we would have won the regular season game or not, I think the Thunder, for us, is just a nightmare matchup. I really do. I really do. But I was still, of course, I'm the objective Knicks fan. I'm going to pick us to win, but yeah, that's going to be a tough series. But any other series, I take us. For sure, guaranteed, 100%. And I'm going to say this too. With respect to the Boston Celtics, if we were to beat the Celtics, I think that would give us a extra edge going forward, right? Because I think that probably that would be the best team, unless maybe OKC loses in the second round. But I think that would be the best win of any team going to the finals, the conference finals, that is. So Holiday back. Let me see. Precious Achua, Coach Tibbs said that for all my Precious Achua people, I know y'all don't like him. Precious Achua, he did not play at all. Coach Tibbs says that right now he's not in the rotation. But be ready. It can change at any moment. So maybe that's a glimmer of hope that Precious gets in there. I doubt it. I don't see it happen unless you get injuries. Right? And we don't want injuries, so I'm not even going to call that out. Mikal Bridges, OG's defense. I'm not going to get into that. I talked about that yesterday. KP coming back, to face the Knicks. This is a full circle moment. As some of you guys know, or as most of you guys know, KP was with the Knicks. He was drafted by the Knicks. Was an all-star with the Knicks. His only all-star appearance was with the Knicks, right? So he gets a chance to go against the team that traded him, even though he was the one that wanted to be traded. It should be an interesting battle. Towns, I think that, Towns are going to give him the business, right? And it's not even to say that he'll be guarding Towns, but, and Towns will be guarding him because they're going to run a lot of pick and pop situations. But I think that KP's not having a good playoffs. He's not. He's only averaging 12 points. He's shooting 10% from 3. So can that change against us? Yes. But yeah, KP, he coming back to face the Knicks. That's some of the storylines. As far as the people that's talking about the bench, I want to say this. Oh no, not that. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a second. The bench. Where's the bench? I don't see the bench. I had an article talking about Deuce McBride and the bench. I don't know where the article is, but I want to talk about the bench really quick. In terms of the Knicks bench production being limited, and yes, I understand and I know that, we have been struggling with our bench, the Boston Celtics bench has not been playing well either, right? So let's see what happens, right? No one's talking about Boston's bench needs to step up. Do I agree that, yes, it would be nice to have a 6-man effort off the bench, somebody that could come in and put pressure? Yes, but I think it still could also happen as well because Deuce McBride, I think he's due for a breakout series. We've seen what he has done in moments throughout the season. I mean, I think that Deuce has had an up and down year, even though I think he had career high points. He was averaging 9 points a game. That's besides the point. I expect more out of Deuce, and I really do think that he needs to take that Pritchard matchup very seriously. I was gonna talk about this, but I'm getting short on time. But just for my old school people, we had some battles with the Celtics. The reason why the Celtics are our rivals is because of our matchups in the 70s, right? And so this is kind of a full circle moment for those guys that go back that far. We're going to get a chance to relive these moments right here, right? Even this is Bernard King and Larry Bird. This is the 80s. But if you go back far enough, you would see that why the Knicks and the Celtics had a heated rivalry, and it still extends to this day. But that's what this article is about. If you want to check that out, you can. Good write up here. I think that we're going to upset the apple cart. I really do believe in these Knicks. A lot of history between the Knicks and the Celtics, and we're going to, see what comes of it now. Let me move forward. So I did the preview. Let me go to the playoffs. I talked about Jalen Brunson's shot. I do want to look at the experts once again. When you look at the ESPN experts, I got to put this on the screen because I did it for the first round, and I think it would be disingenuous to not put it back on the round. So all of the ESPN experts, they made a prediction on certain series. So when you look at all the people that voted in the Celtics-Pacers series, they had Cleveland winning 12-0. No one picked the Pacers. Okay. Knicks and Celtics, right? 13 votes. No one picked the Knicks, right? A lot of them had Knicks in 5, right? But a lot of them also had Knicks in 6 and 7. Celtics in 6 or 7. I think that the Celtics in 6 or 7, those are respectful picks, right? I think those people that make those picks, even though we disagree with them, I don't really have no beef there. But the experts are not picking us this time, y'all. Everyone has us losing. So everyone is an op, as far as I'm concerned. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because it's our job to prove you guys wrong. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to get into before I get into flagship. By the way, these are the topics we're talking about. This is the Knicks, This Week Inside the Knicks, right? Episode 2. And we're in the 2025 playoffs. These are some of the things we're talking about and that we've talked about. If you didn't get a chance already, vote for the poll. I see we got 29 votes. I'm getting the flagship topic soon. Is Brunson better than Tatum? I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I'm saying yes. And I promise it's not going to be a fanboy answer. And I promise you that I'm not the only one saying it. I am not the only one saying it. Oh, so yeah, okay, I got it. I was looking in the wrong section, but yeah, this is the Deuce article here. I touched on it, and I'm going to click on it now. I talked about the experts. I want to say this about Cat. And you know what? Before I get to the Cat, let me jump out of research mode real quickly. Pow. You guys notice behind me, I got the cool merch. I got the Bodega Cat t-shirt. I got the Captain 11 hoodie. Of course, I got the Captain 11 mug, which I'm drinking out of right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't got coffee. I'm just drinking water. The water tastes better. If you want to support the channel, go hit the shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, right? Or you could go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, or you could just go on the website that's pinned down below. And what you do is you will go, let me scroll. You know what? I'm gonna simulate the experience. So I'm gonna go to thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, right? All you gotta do is click on shop. Bam, it'll take you right to the shop. And you could go check out some of the merch. Okay, we got mugs. This is the Bodega Cat mug. This is the Bodega Cat t-shirt. I even got a This Week Inside the Knicks mug, right? The This Week Inside the NYK mug, right? Give the This Week Inside the NYK mug some love. Of course, the Captain 11 mugs and the Captain 11 t-shirts. We also got hoodies, but I know it's t-shirt season, right? Go cop yourself some on the merchandise shop. I do appreciate everybody who who has supported the store thus far. Yes, Crim's dad, especially you, right? I know you're going to remind me, I bought 2 mugs. But yeah, salute to you, Crim's dad. And it's a big time salute to Crims. So this is the shop, shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. It takes you to the same store. You check out some of the merchandise there, all right? Let me move forward. Now I'm going to jump into some of these other topics that I was trying to get into before we call it a day. Now here's something. Here's a real moment, right? I just gave props to the big bodega, right? And he had 2 quotes that I felt was kind of like interesting to me, and his whole demeanor ever since he came to the Knicks. I'm gonna say that Karl Towns has shown me like why he is completely different from what a lot of his detractors were putting out there. When he first came to the Knicks, they said that, oh, he don't want to play the center spot. He don't want to be a 5. All I seen was this brother embrace the 5. He was a 5 for the majority of his time on the floor. He only spent a couple of minutes with Mitch, so he's mostly been a 5 since he's been here. And the crazy thing about it that I think a lot of you guys kind of overlook is that he's the best center we've had on this team since Patrick Ewing. The best center we've seen since Patrick Ewing. They didn't come out with the All-NBA teams yet, but I think he or Brunson should be on the first team. Definitely the second team is the minimum for he or Brunson. But to me, Karl Towns, he's a ball player. He's to me, honestly, I'm glad we got him. Salute to my man, Coach. Coach was always pushing Towns, get Towns. And I wasn't really for it, but I'm glad that we have him. I think that he is the second best center in the NBA this season, and he continues to show his dominance. Yes, he has moments where he disappears, but here's why I think he disappears sometimes. And I'm going to say something after I read this quote that I think really I think it really bogs down who Karl Towns is. He says, it doesn't matter about stats. It doesn't matter about personal accolades. It's about finding a way to win, and we did that. I know the city only cares. Salute to the city. I know that the city only cares about one thing, and that's a W. That is a fact. I don't care if Brunson scores 0 points. As long as we win, that's what I want. I agree with that wholeheartedly, right? So Towns doesn't care about stats. Right? Towns wasn't buying into the premise of the question, right? It was put to him Saturday after Knicks practice that some might argue that he should be taking more shots. Okay, right? Now, the implicit argument, of course, is that Towns getting more involved in the offense will help the Knicks win more games. Facts. We know that when Towns gets a certain amount of points and he has a certain amount of production, it helps the Knicks, right? Towns says, all I know is as long as we win, we good. So I wanna chime in on this, right? And add that I remember when Towns was talking about his history. I'm not sure if it was on the Roommates podcast. It might have been when he first came to the team. He said that, playing for Kentucky, he enjoyed playing with other players. Like, some people don't like when players take away from their shine, right? Like, they may not say it, but, I'm the alpha dog on the team. That exists. That doesn't exist with Towns. Towns has always embraced the idea of playing with other good players, other elite players. And seeing this his response to these questions made me realize why Towns is not a first option. And I'm not saying that to slight him. I'm saying that to say that in order to be the first option, you need to take offense. You need to be offended when you don't get the ball. Like, even like a Shaq, the way he talks. Shaq has an alpha dog mentality. And I'm not saying that Towns is not an alpha. What I'm saying is I'm talking about being the number one scorer, being the number one guy. I think Towns is a great number two guy. And I think Brunson, Captain 11, he has to continue doing what he's doing in the playoff Brunson. I mean, we've seen the numbers, the best since Jordan. I mean, the man has been balling, right? Playoff Brunson, he is the most valuable player in the postseason. And that's going to tie into flagship in a second. That's going to tie into flagship in a second, where we compare him and Tatum. But I just realized, not just realized, but it just is, for me, it just is another reminder that Towns is the number two option. And to all my people, I'm a part of the Brunson dribble club, right? Not that I don't want Brunson to pass the ball, but I'm debunking the myth that he doesn't pass the ball. That's what I'm debunking. Brunson passes the ball. What you got to understand is he is what SGA is for OKC. He is the number one option. He is the lead scorer. So that's why Brunson has the ball in his hands. Brunson has to make plays. And yes, Brunson passes the ball. Now, when these guys become timid and Towns doesn't get aggressive and Bridges is off, Brunson has to do what he has to do. He has to do what he has to do. But Towns making these statements just made me realize that he's a great second option. Probably, what's all the second options in basketball right now? Towns might be the best second option in basketball. When you really think about second options in the NBA today, Towns might be the best second option in basketball. And I think that actually gives us a shot. So this take is not to slight Karl Anthony Towns. This take is to actually put things in the perspective that I don't think I want to hear fans talking about Brunson, one, that he doesn't pass, and two, that Towns needs to be the first option when Towns himself shies away from that. And there's nothing wrong with that because he has Jalen Brunson, and all these guys know their role. Same thing with Boston. The enemy that we're going up against, all those guys know their roles. Let me see if I got that. Gotta find that. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. I want to talk about Joe Mazzulla, too. Joe Mazzulla said something. Let me see if I can find it. I don't see it in my notes. It's in here somewhere. Let me see. Joe Mazzulla. Yeah, here we go. Bam. So I'm going to touch on this Joe Mazzulla take really quick. Joe Mazzulla and the rest of the Boston Celtics are giving Jalen Brunson his respect, right? It's not just one guy, it's a team. It's not just one guy, it's a team. So one guy is not going to be able to guard Jalen Brunson. They got to guard him like a team. Boston Celtics is giving us our respect. You guys should give your team respect. Okay? And I should do another poll. I'm not. To everybody that just joined, hit that like button, right? This is the podcast. I'm moving along. So we talked about a lot of topics. I got a couple of more I want to get into, and then we're going to get into flagship and then the closing topics to get up out of here. Oh, third quarters. We can talk about third quarters really quick. So third quarters, right? The Knicks were struggling in this series against the Pistons in that quarter. And Mikal Bridges made a suggestion, something that he did in Phoenix. Mikal Bridges said that the Knicks should do a layup line after halftime, and it worked. The Knicks went on to have probably the best third quarter of that series, right? And they went on a run that was only behind the fourth quarter run in game one when the Knicks went on that 21-0 run. Oh, God, hold on. I clicked out of it. So should the Knicks continue the layup line? Right? And a reporter asked Mikal about it. And I kind of was, I don't think I dismissed it, but I was like, you got to do a layup line. What is this? High school? But the layup line worked. I mean, they came out firing at all cylinders in that third quarter. And that game was pretty much a big time seesaw. Game 6, it would be one quarter the Knicks dominate, then the Detroit dominate the next quarter. So yeah, I think it's an idea that we should revisit. You know, salute to Mikal for coming up with that idea. I kind of was like, why do we need a layup line? But then it turned out to work out. My last hot topic, and then I'm gonna get into flagship. I do have to talk about this. And honestly, this should have been a part of the smoke of the week segment, but I'm gonna let it ride. I'm just gonna treat it as a regular hot topic. Pistons Jalen Durant calls Knicks star Jalen Brunson a flopping MFer. All right, he's a flopping MFer, and this was the theme in Detroit. They was calling Brunson a flopper and things of this nature. And my thing is this is what my response to that would be. First off, you guys are fouling the hell out of Brunson. That's one, right? Two, when he's getting fouled by you guys all are bigger than him. He's getting hit by dudes that are taller than him, that outweigh him, right? From Harris, right? Karl Thompson is bigger than him, played him very physical, chasing him 94 feet. Even when Beasley had him on assignment, of course, Beasley's not a world beater defender, but he's a little bigger, right? Schroeder is in his size range, but Schroeder very aggressive, right? Schroeder is the reason why he hurt his ankle, right? So the notion that he's a flopper to me is like, first off, everybody is trying to draw fouls. Everybody is trying to draw fouls. It just so happens that you dudes thought you guys were the bad boy Pistons from the 89 and 90. And yes, that series had a lot of old school remnants inside of it that brought us back in time. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the series, even though I was, I thought it should have been ended earlier, but that's fine. As long as you get the win, it doesn't matter, right? But I'm just saying, like, you dudes, if you go back and look at the fouls, like, look at this image right here. Look at this image right here. He's hugging Brunson. I don't want to zoom in, but he's hugging Brunson. Like, what are we talking about? He's a flopper. You guys are hitting him. And then Karl Thompson called out Brunson for selling fouls. What are you talking about, selling fouls? Huh? Does Cade Cunningham not sell fouls? What are we talking about? I just thought that was weird. Then you're going to call him a flopper. Like, that's... Dude, you put him on the line. I just didn't understand it. I thought that the goal is to draw a foul. But, I guess them guys don't really know how to play basketball like that. So I think that's all the time. Let me get into the chat before I proceed. Salute to everybody that's in the building, man. I do appreciate you guys for rocking with me. I see we got 32 votes. I'm going to have to pull up this poll. Let me see if I can get the poll up. 1 second. Let's see. I keep the poll open. Wait, should I close it? Yeah, I'm going to close it. I'm going to close the poll. Get your final votes in now. I'm going to close the poll. The poll is who's the better player entering this series, Tatum or Brunson? So get your vote in. I'm going to close it in like 2 minutes after I read the couple of these chats. By the way, I got to give a big time salute to still Knicks fans in the house. What's good, Knicks family? Salute to me, Karan. Yes, continue the layup line. That was the best third quarter they had in over the month. Facts. I agree. And I kind of, like I said, Knicks would be champs. I kind of was like, not that I scoffed at it, but, it just was something that I didn't really think was going to help. Juan Rivera said, I lost respect for the Pistons fan base and Pistons players for their hypocrisy. Yes, and Juan, and somebody told me this. I don't remember hearing it in real time, but somebody told me that they actually cheered when Brunson got hurt. I don't know why I don't remember that happening. But Darlene says, I think we should continue the layup line. Okay. So final call for the votes. I'm getting ready to shut it down in like 2 minutes. Beeman Boy says OG and Mikal got to show up. They average about 12 points against Boston. Facts. I think that we definitely need more offense out of those guys, especially if the bench is not going to get time, right? If he's not going to play the bench, these guys definitely have to, get more production and more time. Let's see. Let Paul Pierce lace up for game 1. Ha, that's funny. Salute to Maxine with the fire emojis. Ha. Yoga says bring back Patrick Ewing. I would love to bring back Patrick Ewing for this series. Ewing was a beast. Last time I saw it was ever seen, he was sliding across the floor. Facts. All right, so let me close the poll. So the poll is closed. Hopefully I didn't lose the poll results. Hold on. I closed it. Hopefully it's not gone forever. Oh, Lord. Wait, hold on. Let me come out of research mode. Let me make sure I didn't lose the poll, guys. I closed it. Do you guys still see it there? Let me see if it's there. Because I closed out the chat too like a fool. Let me see. Chat. Okay. Oh, all right, cool. All right, I got the results. So the poll is closed, okay? Who is playing better entering this series? And 66% of you guys says, oh, hold on. 66% of you guys say, 67% say Brunson. Okay. So you guys are, all right. So this is not much of a shock value. This is not much of a shock value. So you guys are agreeing with me that Brunson is the better player entering the series. Okay. Because that's what we're about to get into right now. Let me just close this out. All right. And I think the poll might still be open. I'm not sure. It's my first time ever doing it, but I already think we've seen enough. I know where you guys stand. So not that it's going to change my delivery, but it's good to know that I'm not out there, you know, because sometimes I say things and I'm like, you know, maybe the people don't agree, but I'm glad you guys agree. All right, cool. So let me get into my 3 reasons. So I got 3 reasons for you why I believe that Brunson is the better player entering the season. And of course, my notes is across the room. But this is my first reason why. Okay? This is my first reason why. The New York Post, they did a ranking of all the players in this series. And if you look at the ranking of the players, it's very interesting. So the number 1 player, according to the New York Post, and this is Peter Bottle. Is it Bottle or Bot? Peter Bott, okay, he says that Jalen Brunson is the number 1 player entering this series. He has Jalen Brunson number 1 over Jayson Tatum. I agree. Some of the reasons why he says, right, clutch player of the year, right? Brunson has appeared in 30 playoff games over 5 series with the Knicks. He's averaging 30.5 points, 6.9 assists. Only 2 players in history have averaged more than that during their playoff careers. Michael Jordan, 33.5 points per game, right? And former backcourt mate Luka Doncic, right? So I thought that was a compelling reason, and salute to Peter Bott, okay? I'm going to get into my other 2 reasons, but Jalen Brunson's listed as number 1. Jayson Tatum listed as number 2. Strong consideration was obviously given to bypassing Brunson here, but deferring to Boston's 6-time All-Star forward because of his championship hardware from last year. Facts. I mean, he has the more accomplished team on paper and 2 trips to the finals in the past 3 years. Tatum is one of the most versatile players in the game. And in the first round, he ranked 3rd in the league in scoring, 31.3 points and 4th in rebounds, which is hell of impressive to me by Tatum. This right here, 31 and 11, that's scary. So Jayson Tatum for sure definitely is someone who I am concerned about. The only reason why I don't think that he's the X factor, even though he is the best player on the floor. And by the way, look, Jayson Tatum, if you compare career to Brunson's career, of course, Tatum has the better career. He's a 6-time All-Star. No one's going to debate that. Who has the better career? I'm talking about in the postseason, entering this series, based off of the factors of now, I think Brunson is the better player. They gave Jaylen Brown the 3rd spot. I'm not mad at getting Jaylen Brown the 3rd spot because to me, Towns was kind of inconsistent. If Towns would have had, put it like this, if you would have took away the 10-point game from Towns, then I think he would be the 3rd best player, right? And Jaylen Brown also had that one game where Tatum wasn't there. So But after the Tatum and Brown, it's all Knicks. Towns, OG, then KP. So I like it, man. I think that this list right here shows you that these teams are competitive, are going to be competitive, and it's not as lopsided as you think it's going to be. So my first reasoning is Peter Bott. My second reasoning definitely has to do with, let me jump out of research mode so I could get this because my notes is across the room. Let me jump out of research mode real quickly. Okay. My second reasoning has to do with Jalen Brunson. Not because he was the clutch player of the year. Salute to Brunson for winning the clutch player of the year. But I think overall, when you look at it, that Jalen Brunson, sorry, give me 2 seconds. Trying to find it. I think that Jalen Brunson is just a better clutch player overall, right? Than Jayson Tatum is. Right? So when you look at just him, just clutch playing, right? Just clutch playing. If I could pull up my, where's my notes at? All right, so Jalen Brunson, right? He led the NBA in points per clutch time situation. And once again, I don't like the clutch time stat, right? So 5.6 points, because clutch time is within 5 minutes, within 5 points. Anything that's not that is not considered clutch time. I think that's kind of short-sighted, but it is what it is. Okay, he led the NBA in field goals made in these clutch moments, right? He's second in total clutch points. His field goal percentage is 51%. Free throw percentage, 84%. He does not crack under pressure. And he also he has 28 clutch time assists, which is third in the NBA. That's where my Brunson doesn't pass people. So not only does Brunson pass, period, in regular play, in clutch time he passes. When you look at Jayson Tatum, who also is clutch, he has 79 clutch points, which is 6th in the NBA, 20 clutch assists, 25 clutch rebounds. Now the 20 clutch assists is up there. He's second in the NBA in clutch assists, right? But overall, Jalen Brunson to me has more, accolades when you look at the clutch numbers. But I just think that to add on to clutch, I think that while Jayson Tatum, he's a freak of nature athlete, and I think part of the reason why Tatum he kills the way he kills is because, he is a freak athlete, right? And so Brunson, to me, his offensive game is more polished for playoff basketball because Brunson, right? He's not just looking for the crazy fadeaway step back three. Tatum is taking fadeaway step back threes, right? He's using his athleticism to get opportunities at the rim, which is cool, right? Nothing wrong with that. But I think Jalen Brunson, from an offensive standpoint, when you just look at the bag and the tools that's there, Tatum uses pick and roll, but to me, Brunson is a little bit more dynamic off pick and roll because he's a point guard, right? Tatum is incredible. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to take a dump. Boston fans who watch this video, do not think I'm just taking a dump on Tatum. But I do gotta keep it real. I do gotta keep it real. That I think that for what the playoffs offers, you'll probably see more bad games from Tatum than you would from Brunson because Tatum plays a lot more hero ball, even though Brunson can play hero ball too. But to me, Tatum plays a little bit more hero ball where he's shooting fadeaways on double teams more so than Brunson does, right? Brunson is going to move the ball, pass the ball when he gets doubled. Of course, they both take bad shots. I'm not trying to excuse that, right? But to me, Brunson's efficiency too is a major key. It's a major key. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I just want to check some. So Jayson Tatum in the playoffs, and this is, something amazing that I think is amazing that both Tatum and Brunson both average around the same turnovers, just under 3 turnovers a game, with their high usage rate. So it's going to be a duel. Like I really do believe that Jalen Brunson is going to outlast, or if not outlast, he's going to match what Tatum does. So I don't think that is going to be much of a cheat code or much of an advantage for Boston. And if Tatum is going, let's say Tatum cooks us, he cooks us. I also believe that OG Anunoby is more than likely going to give Tatum more fits than Boston's defenders is going to give Brunson's fits, because one of the things that Boston struggled with Orlando was drives to the basket. They couldn't stop Paolo. And, of course, that's Paolo, Bencaro, and Franz Wagner. I mean, those guys are amazing. But at the same time, there's opportunities in the mid-range, which is where Brunson likes to operate, does his thing. We know the weak links that Boston has, which is the big guys on the perimeter and pick and roll. So that persists. We've seen the adjustment by Coach Tibbs and having Hart sets screens for Brunson to try to draw that mismatch. So I just think that Brunson also will have both guys is going to be a struggle, but I just think that the way the game is structured in the postseason, this is just my opinion, y'all. Just give me my reasoning. I think that Brunson he's going to do his thing. I think he's the best player coming into the series. That's just how I see it. All right. And I'm trying to find my third reason, because my paper's across the room and I don't feel like getting up to get it. I can't find it. This is crazy. Oh, okay. I know what my third reason is. I just go off the top of the head. My third reason is I'm going to weigh Brunson's playoff performance. Yes, I know it's only the first round. It's only one round. But I think that Brunson, what he did to the Pistons is more impressive to me than what the Celtics did to the Magic. The Magic are a team that don't have their starting point guard, that was hobbled, that struggled. It was a struggle for the Magic to get where they got to. Whereas the Pistons were thriving. They tripled their win total. To me, at this point in the playoffs, the Pistons are a better team than the Magic. I think the Pistons would have gave the Boston Celtics a tough series too, right? Because they had the athleticism on the wing, right? They play very physical defense, something that the Celtics, I'm not gonna say they struggled with. I'm gonna say it definitely presented a challenge for them. So even though Tatum is averaging 31 and 11, Brunson is averaging 30 and 8. I feel like Brunson's 30 and 8 to me, I'm giving the weight to that because I feel like the Pistons are a better team than the Magic. Even though the Magic are a really good defensive team, the Celtics, I mean, their roster and them having most of their guys, even though Holiday wasn't there, he missed the last 3 games. I still think that Boston probably should have swept Orlando given the circumstance. And for them to drop that game the way they did, I feel like Boston, despite that, still had an easier first round than the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks' first round was grueling, okay? The Knicks' first round was grueling, right? Whereas you got an Orlando Magic team that don't have their point guard. And Boston was taking advantage of those small guards for Orlando. I mean, putting them in pick and roll, featuring them on Brown. Yeah, it was just a lot of bad recipes. So that's my third reason. I would say I think that Brunson, to me, his playoff first round, though they both great playoff rounds for both those guys. To me, Jokic is playing well too. I can't really count SGA yet because SGA didn't. I mean, come on, they beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Come on, anybody could do that to the Memphis Grizzlies. Who else is out there? Ant-Man had a good first round too. To me, Tatum, Jokic, and Brunson, those are the 3 of the best first rounds to me. But I'm going to give the edge to Brunson because I feel like we had a tougher team than Boston did. And I think that gives, and it's very close because Tatum is balling. Despite his injury, just like Brunson with his injury, both of those guys are balling. But I think that when you add the clutch aspect and the fact that these games, I feel like will be more like game 4 than the first 3 games of the regular season where the games are close. I think having the clutch player, the better clutch player in Jalen Brunson, I think is going to matter the most. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Oh, my God. Let me see. Oh, okay, that's Yuri. I thought Crim's dad said that. I'm about to say Crims is I'm in trouble with Crim's dad. Let me see. Also, Boston pays their game over and need to and never need to change it. The Knicks play each team they face and never learn to play their best way. Tibbs has them all over the place. I don't know about that, Crim's dad. I don't know about that. Well, I will say that Boston definitely will make adjustments on the fly. I've seen Joe Mazzulla do it. Joe Mazzulla, he's going to try new things. I'm going to still say, Crims, that don't count Tibbs out. Don't count Tibbs out because even though, yes, there are adjustments we would like him to make, to say that he doesn't make adjustments, that's inaccurate. Coach Tibbs definitely make it. Like the one major adjustment in the Pistons series was getting Towns involved early in the game. So even when Towns had a bad game, you can't say he wasn't involved early in the action. They would force the ball to him. Sometimes I'm like, damn, why could we mix it up? Could we try something different? So yeah, I'm going to say that. Nick Shack says weakness is Boston is the second city compared to New York, who fans are smarter and better looking. Oh man, Nick Shack, you took it there. I'm riding with that. You know what I mean? I'm for all that Boston smoke. Let me see what else you guys talking about in the chat. Definitely, guys, keep the likes up. Let's get the likes up and keep the good comments. I will look into the chat. Yuri said he's gonna be watching from scoreboard. Tatum is the face of Boston. Tatum is one hell of a player. He's one hell of a player. He's a problem. But I think that he and Brunson canceled each other out. I think this series is going to be won by who's going to be the third best player in the series, right? Brown or Towns. Hell, OG. I think that those other guys, KP, I think those other guys are going to have to play well to give each team an edge. I'm going to say it like that. All right, so let me keep this show moving, y'all. That was the flagship. I gave my 3 reasons. I don't want to sleep on Tatum. I'm not sleeping on Tatum. I think he's fantastic. But I think based off the way this year is going, I'm going to give the edge to Brunson. Now, and of course, once again, I know I'm saying this for the people in the comments. I am not talking about career. Jayson Tatum has way more accolades than Jalen Brunson. No debate there. But this year, this series, I think Brunson has the edge. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? And that's what the New York Post is also talking about. I'm going to get some of the comments of the week. I got multiple comments, right? Multiple comments I want to get into, okay? And I'm not going to give long responses because some of these things are just crazy. Jack City, Knicks for clicks is a real thing. So when the Knicks was one of the worst teams and we finally made the playoffs again, that was said that we were going to lose because we didn't have no experience, right? And so, this guy's actually a Knicks fan. He's actually speaking for the Knicks. He's actually saying, basically what he's saying is, you guys got on the Knicks, right, for not having experience, right? And you picked them to lose. But when it's Detroit's time, they don't get the time. Salute to Jack City. Yeah, he's on our side. That's not the comment I wanted to get to. I added Jack City by accident. No problem. But this is Eric. Eric is a Philadelphia 76er fan, right? So you made it to the comments of the week section, right? He says, y'all Knox stink. Can't wait till you lose to the Pistons. Can't wait till you lose in the Pistons series, okay? And then I responded, you said what? Of course, I got no response back. That dude is a Sixer. He's a disgruntled Sixer fan. You know it's bad when you go to your opposing team, your ops page, and wish that another team could beat them because your team can't. All right. Let me see if I got more Pistons comments. Let's see. Is this a Pistons fan? Hold on. I don't know where my Pistons, sorry guys. I don't know where my Pistons comments are. I had a couple of more. Let's see. Bruh, what? Okay, let me try. I gotta try to bear with me, y'all. Man had a whole year to work with this group. Laugh at LMAO. And bruh, out here completely disrespecting the Celtics defense and the fact that the Magic are a way better defense than the Knicks. Okay. Magic are a way better defense than the Knicks. When we look at the entire regular season and you want to look at efficiency, okay, the Magic are a better defensive team than the Knicks. But when you look at the post All-Star break, entering the playoffs, the Knicks have been top 4 defense in the league. 3-point defense, top 4 3-point defense in the league. Our defense has dramatically improved, right? And overall defensive record is not top 4. I think it's 10th. So our defense has improved, right? Am I saying that we're better defensively than the Magic? No, but we're a better team than the Magic. And one thing that the Celtics got away with in that slow-paced series was the Magic are just not a good offensive team. The Knicks are elite. We're top 5 offense. If the Knicks are hitting at all cylinders, the Celtics can be in trouble. Trust me, they can be in trouble because there are areas on the floor in the Magic. I'm like, damn. Now, granted, of course, I think a lot of that was scheme. I don't think Joe Mazzulla respected the Magic as a 3-point shooting team, so they did get a lot of open threes. Probably that we won't see. All I'm saying is, though, this comment about the whole year, because that's really what I want to address. Boston Celtics had way more than 1 year to get to where they are. They added Holiday and KP on a team that was already thriving, a team that already made it to the finals, right? And you still had a lot of your core guys, the Derek Whites of the world, the Pritchards of the world, the Hausers of the world, the Al Horfords of the world, right? Tatum and Brown. It's still the framework of the team is still the same. They just added certain pieces to the framework to help make the team a better team. But the bench is the same, right? For the most part. Luke Cornett's been there. So the Boston has had a lot of time to build on what they want to build on. The Knicks, we need time. And I'm going to tell you right now, Zay Cole, or I don't know how to say the name, but Zay Cole, right? Next year, this next team is going to be off the charts. If we could stay the same and don't make too much crazy changes to the point where we're a different team, I think that we're going to have the best offense next season, right? And I think that we have a chance to be the best team in the East because all of these teams, your Boston Celtics, Zay, and I'm going to read this comment too because this is just another, see, this is what happens when you actually don't watch the opposing team. I watched the Celtics. I seen all of the games against Orlando. Some of the games I watched twice. I went back and I watched the games because I made a comment on the mic saying that Boston played 8 guys. Boston played 8 guys. That's a fact. But it was because Holiday was out. So Boston, this is for my Coach Tibbs people, right? Coach Tibbs, he only wants to play these guys. Joe's only playing his guys. Joe is not opening up. Kata is not getting time. Unless you get an injury, Kata is not getting time. I'm talking about like an injury where you got multiple guys out. Now you got to add to the rotation. Outside of that, he's playing 8 guys. Coach Tibbs played 9 guys and then 8 guys. So why are you saying he only plays 7 people? That's cap. It's not true. It's not true. But everybody is playing their bench less. Everybody. It's the playoffs. You don't got time to give everyone time. You got time to put your best players on the floor because guess what? There's no tomorrow to rest. So yeah, come on. Try harder, Celtic fans. Try harder. We know you guys are the favorite. I'm mad I got more Pistons comments I did not add. I feel bad I didn't do it. It's all good. You know, it is what it is. That's some of the comments of the week. I'm going to get to the smoke of the week as well. So before I get to the smoke of the week, you already know what we got to do. We got to do some dog growls, man. So there's a whole lot of smoke of the week. I'm not going to go too crazy because I want to keep the show moving. But I do want to say Charles Barkley, he said that the Pistons are outplaying the Knicks in the series. Let me be respectful. There's a reason why players who haven't won championships sympathize with factors outside of winning. Who gives a damn in the NBA about consolation prizes, Mr. Barkley? I don't give a damn if you played hard. Did you win the game? You're going to be a loser who plays hard? What are we talking about? The Detroit Pistons played hard even though they're losing. Huh? We giving out consolation prizes, but like I said, the guys who didn't win championships, they don't look at winning the same. You could tell by commentary about guys who won championships and guys who didn't win championships. It's different. I just didn't understand. Okay, the Pistons have played hard. Okay, they played hard, but they're losing. So you're diminishing the value of playing hard, especially when, Charles, you had a reputation as somebody who didn't work hard. But I don't want to go there. But I'm just saying, like, what are we talking about? Beasley said he was the best shooter in the world after the loss. Once again, like, more losing mentality. Karl Thompson is the best defender, and I'm the best shooter. Okay, you lost. If I lose, I'm not going to... Listen, man, I don't like losing. I'm not going to be sitting on the bench talking about, yeah, I lost, but I'm better than you. Huh? You lost. We don't give a damn about your excuse. We don't give a damn about your feelings. What are we talking about? Look at this guy. A blunder. This was the blunder. A blunder. That's what he is. A walking blunder. You lost. Man, yo, listen, man. Dog growls. These guys deserve the smoke, man. Then Beasley, he wanted to troll Mikal Bridges. He trolled Mikal Bridges talking about a fan put it on Twitter. Let's see if I could get the actual tweet. Let's see if it pops up. So a fan put on Twitter that Mikal going for 44 on Thursday. And I can't show you the response. So this fan right here put it up. And then Beasley responded to the tweet and said 44 what? Minutes? This little tweet right here. You can't really see it because it's grayed out. But he said 44 what? Minutes? And Mikal proceeded, and this is what I'm saying, the mistake that the Detroit Pistons made. You're playing against a veteran team that thrives on, that looks for fuel when you try to deny them, doubt them, diminish them. And what did Mikal do? He didn't put up 44, but he had 25. He had a key tip in down the stretch to ice the game. His defense on Cade Cunningham, elite. All you do is inspire a guy to play better against you. Okay? So, but that's like the preliminary smoke. My main smoke is for this brother right here, Stephen A. Smith. More dog growls. This brother right here on this show, not going to play it, of course, because we don't want to give no copyright strikes. But he's gloating and happy that we won and we beat Detroit. And shortly after he gloats, he says the Knicks have no chance against the Celtics. And you're a Knicks fan. Now, like, once again, I'm not asking, this is not the cult of the Knicks. If you don't think we're going to win, fine. But how you go on national TV after we did what we just did? 3 straight road games, the first time in franchise history. And our franchise goes back to the beginning. And you get on national airways and you say that the Knicks have no shot against Boston. What I'm trying to understand is the same people that say the Knicks have no shot against Boston, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, are the same people that said the Knicks were going to struggle against the Pistons. Oh, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7. Knicks in 6. Knicks. So you giving a team in Detroit that never been to the playoffs more of a chance than you will the Knicks, a team that is one of 3 teams in the last 3 years to make it to the second round? A team that has won 50 wins 2 years in a row? A team that is a top 3 seed? I give a damn about the 0-4 in the regular season. I already stomped that out. The Houston Rockets back in 95 got demolished in the regular season by the San Antonio Spurs. They were a 6 seed. They got destroyed by the San Antonio Spurs in the regular season. They beat the Spurs in the playoffs and went on to win the championship. Plenty of examples of teams getting dominated by teams in the regular season, and that team that dominated in the regular season lost in the postseason. But our beloved Stephen A. Smith, who picked the Knicks in 7 or 6, then he switched it to Knicks in 5. Oh, Knicks in 5 when they go up 3-1. Right in the coattails. I don't like that. I'm not saying Stephen A. Smith is not a Knicks fan. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Stephen A. doesn't have any faith in the Knicks at all. And he waits for the Knicks to do what they do, and then he goes and acts like, yay, Knicks. I don't like that. Don't like it. How you pick the Pistons and say they're going to give the Knicks a tough series, it's going to go 6 or 7 games, but the Knicks can't go to 6 games against the Celtics? It's disrespectful. I'm tired of fans of the Knicks, and this guy more in particular, just counting us out. But you same fans are the same ones that gave Detroit all of this respect, and they haven't done anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't win nothing. They still haven't had a playoff home win since 2000, I don't know, with eight or something like that. I can't remember the last time. I don't even care to look up when Detroit last got a home playoff win. They lost at home 3 times. They are a punching bag. They are a bunch of Asar Thompsons. Punching bags, confident punching bags. Even in the loss, Malik Beasley. Stephen A. Smith. I'm disappointed in Stephen A. Smith. You up there happy. This was a chance to say, you know what? While I don't think the Knicks are going to beat the Celtics, I think the way the Knicks performed against the Detroit Pistons, a tough series, I think they could take the Celtics 6 games. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Y'all got to have some more faith. If you think that the Celtics are going to sweep us because of the regular season, you guys need to watch a little bit more basketball. You think that the Celtics are going to gentlemen sweep us because they swept us in the regular season, and that's the crux of your reasoning. Yo, you got to have a little bit more faith. These are the Knicks. Now, to all my people that's saying Celtics in 6 or 7, I respect that. You're going to go with how you feel, not your heart. I agree. And I'm leaning on my heart more on this take than just like, you know, what the odds are, right? We are definitely an underdog, but I'm acknowledging the odds. I'm not acting like it don't exist. I'm not acting like 13 experts from ESPN all picked the Celtics. I'm not acting like that's not the truth. What I am saying is the Knicks are definitely going to win the Knicks could at least win 2 games. If you don't think the Knicks could at least win 2 games, but then think that the Pistons was going to win 2 or let alone 3 games when they hadn't won a game since 2008, when they were a team that had one of the worst records in franchise in the NBA history, right? And they won, 44 wins, 46 wins, and that was triple of their win total of the previous year, and they set a record, and you give that team that hasn't done nothing with a whole bunch of veterans that had maybe one stint but hadn't done nothing in recent years. A team that's a fresh face, you gave them more of a shot than you will the Knicks against the Celtics. And that to me is a disappointment. We know that the Miami Heat, without Jimmy Butler, we got a healthy Knicks team. The Miami Heat team, without Jimmy Butler, won a game in Boston. We can't get a game in Boston. We can't get a game in Boston and a game in the Garden. Why not? That's my smoke of the week, man. I'm just very disappointed in these Knicks fans. Immortal Cut says, I love the ball cap kit. Where could I get one? Damn, you know what? This hat was sold out when I last checked. Immortal Cuts. I'm not sure where. You might have to, because Liz, the last time I checked Liz, they didn't have this hat. Maybe what's up? Some other hat stores. Check some other hat stores. I'm not sure. You know what I'll do on Immortal Cuts? I'll put up a blog post. So give me some time, Immortal Cuts, to check the blog. I'm gonna put up a link. Salute the coach. Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel mod. Let me see what he's saying. I'm gonna keep saying this, but Mitch needs to get 10 shots. Take advantage of Cornette. Facts, I agree. Only problem, coach, is that Mitch is not going to play. Cornette only plays 10 minutes, if that. So it might not be enough shots. Nick Shack said, how much you want to bet Tatum doesn't get 45? I would make that bet every time until we defeated you. Facts. I'm riding with you. Yeah. Nick Shack, I'm riding with you. Where's the optimism? RJ says Brunson could average 35 and the Knicks losing 5. Cat completely dominate Porzingis is non-negotiable for the Knicks to win. Facts. And even though KP's not even going to be his assignment. Crimes that let me see. Crims that Crims that listen, man, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, Crims that, because I didn't get my comments that I wanted to put up. Your comments should have been up there, Crims that. I'm not gonna lie. The comments I had this week was kind of weak. It definitely were weak. They wasn't the comments that I wanted. I don't know where my Pistons comments at. I was coming at all of these Pistons fans' heads. I dropped the ball with that. Yoga says, I read that. Let me see. Salute to everybody in the building. So I just did smoke of the week. No Nick of the week this week. And I think I'm going to retire the Nick of the week because Brunson could be the Nick of the week every week. And I don't think that's fun. Right? Because Brunson's the playoff MVP. I don't think no Nick will out-Nick Brunson. Right? So I'm just going to skip the Nick of the week. I'm going to jump in the word on the street. And then I'll read some of your comments and we out. But before I get into the word of the street, I do have to share this. And I got to give a big time salute to all of the channel members, right? Big time salute to K-Hub who joined yesterday. Definitely, I want to introduce to you guys who don't know about the channel membership, all right? So we got 2 packages. I'm only going to talk about the Starter Knicks fan package because I feel like it's a great place to start. Once you join this channel, you're going to get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, which I always talk about. A lot of the members, salute to Yuri, salute to Mike from PA, salute to everybody that be in the chat. All these people are in there. We have great conversation, 24/7 Knicks chats, 24/7 NBA chats. We talk all sports. This is not a free-for-all Discord server, right? This is like just, people that love basketball, people that support the channel. And it's a great way to extend the conversation with me. If something comes out, news, Towns gets a triple-double, we could talk about it right then and there. So that's one thing that all members get access to once you become a member. It's not the only thing you get. Of course, you get the cool badges, so that way I could recognize you in the chat. When I look in the chat, I'm looking for the badges. That's why Crim's dad, he's my number 1 chat guy. He still didn't get comment of the week yet, but he's my number 1 chat guy, so I'm always looking for his badge, right? And of course, different colors. I can't remember which color is which, but the color codes represents how long you've been a member as well. Okay, cool. So now we also do members only live chats like we did yesterday, and we also do members only live shows. It's a great way to interact with each other. I got to do some unfiltered thoughts, some of the unlocked content that you unlock when you become a member, right? Priority replies to comments. So anytime I see a comment like on polls or video, new videos in the comments, I'm looking for the badges because I get a lot of comments between here and all the other platforms. I just look for the badges first and then I try to get to everybody else later. But yeah, that's what you get when you become a member, right? Of course, I got all types of member content. I'm getting ready to start playing basketball. So when I go outside, I'm going to take my camera with me. All that's going to be member stuff. And it's all types of stuff that goes in the member status updates, right? Members get shouted out, of course. You know how we do. We always spread love the Brooklyn way, right? And the New York City way. So that's a given. But discounts on merch. So any of the merch you see behind me, right, including the mug, and on shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, members get a discount. Okay, so that's what you get when you join the channel. And salute to everybody who is a channel member, and the people that are going to join, and the people who recently joined. I do appreciate you guys for joining the channel. This channel membership is not just you give up the $4.99 or whatever you pay, and that's all you get. I actively try to give extra value to the members. So, definitely something that if you did join, you're not going to regret it. Okay. Now, I do want to get into word on the street before I get up out of here. I did some polls. We did a live poll for the first time, and 67% of you are riding with me that Jalen Brunson is the better player entering the series. Oh, look at this mug, though. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm not in research mode. Look at this mug. It's fire. All right, so let me start. I'm going to start from here, okay? Cool. I got a couple of polls I want to get into. So did the anonymous NBA players poll get it right? Is Knicks coach Tibbs the sixth worst coach in the league? Crim's dad, I know. Crim's dad is funny. Oh my God. Anyway, is he the sixth worst coach? I'm gonna say hell no. Coach Tibbs might be the sixth best coach in the NBA. The sixth worst coach. Y'all gotta stop. Anyway, so it got 171 votes, and 70% said no. So most of you guys are on board that Coach Tibbs is not the sixth worst coach. Now, you could say no, he's the first worst coach, but I'm pretty sure most of those guys are just optimistic. So, which Knicks first round playoff series was more challenging? Right? 255 votes. The 2024 76ers series or the 2025 Pistons series? Let's see how Knicks fans voted. I'm going to say the 76ers series. With all due respect to the Detroit Pistons, I think that Sixers series was worse. So we got 256 votes. 66% think the Pistons series, because we just watched it, so it's fresh on our minds. You guys think that series is tougher than the 76ers series. Let me explain why the 76ers series was more tough to me. Joel Embiid was the MVP. With all due respects to Cade Cunningham, how great of a young player he is, I think he's going to be phenomenal. Having to deal with a Joel Embiid who was 60% and still dropped 50 points. Cade Cunningham did not drop 50 points. Joel Embiid dropped 50 on us. Tyrese Maxey, beep, beep, zipping, running around. Some of their veterans is on is on the Pistons. Tobias Harris, he was there. He was with the Sixers, right? And the Sixers veterans were way better than the Pistons veterans. Way better, way more decorated. Nicholas Batum, the Brunson stopper, he got cooked. Bottom line is, to me, I just felt like the challenges within Joel Embiid, I felt like the 76ers were tougher, but you guys think the Pistons was tougher. And then 15% say both were equally tough. I'm not changing my vote, but 15% say both were equally tough. I think that honestly is probably the right answer, that they might be the same. Now, here's another poll. Will OG Anunoby be able to slow down Jayson Tatum as he did Cade Cunningham in the upcoming Knicks Celtics series? I'm going to say yes. Slow him down? Yes, I think he can slow him down. Because look, here's what slowing down means. Jayson Tatum averaged 33 points against the Knicks this season, right? He's averaging 31 points in the playoffs. If he averages 28 points, that's slowing him down. That's not stopping him. I didn't say OG Anunoby is going to stop Tatum. That's very difficult to do. I don't think no All-NBA player can be stopped. I think if they aren't having a good night, one, it's mostly on them, right? It's probably something that they're not doing, right? And two, some nights you just don't got it. Doesn't mean the other guy can stop you. No. So yeah, I think that he can slow him down, right? And that's what we want. We want a slower Tatum. Will the Knicks be able to win a road game in the first 2 games of the series? Now, I just dropped this morning. I'm going to say hell yes. 92%. Salute the Knick Nation, even though it was a smaller sample size. Go vote on this poll if you hadn't. I dropped this morning, so 92% of you guys said yes. All right? And that's all for Word on the Street. I'm going to read some of the chat before I get up out of here. Keith says, greetings, Keith. Keith, welcome to the show. Salute to you, Knicks Tape Matt. Well, you are in the Discord server. You're not active, but channel member, salute to you. Maxey had a 46-point game as well. Hey, Keith, listen, man. Keith, you're not allowed to give objective takes in the chat. You watch just as much basketball as me. You're not allowed. What's next? You're going to be the objective Knicks fan? No, great point. Yeah, Maxey did have 46 points. Let's see. RJ says, if Tatum is taking 30 shots, it's because he's killing you. You're probably going to get 50, or else he wouldn't have to take that many shots. Facts. Okay. And look, I agree with that. So if Tatum is getting 50, Brunson could get 50. And it's still going to cancel each other out. So I think this series will be won by the others. Look at J-Tap in the building. Yes, the Discord has been fired, J-Tap, the past couple of weeks. And yeah, it's so lit in there that I can't even keep up with it. Like sometimes because I like to be very engaging with the conversations. And especially if someone like Knicks will be champs, 25-26, he always is putting great stuff in there. So I'm always trying to scroll back to see what Knicks will be champs puts in there. So yeah, it's fire. Definitely consider joining the channel, y'all. If you're a subscriber, especially. Let me see what else you guys talking about. Coach says, open up the offense and force them to guard. I'm riding with you. Ooh, Nick Yak says KP last cook. Where? Mom's house? It's been a while. Facts. He's not having a great regular postseason. He's shooting 10% from 3 or 11%. I give him the percentage point. Brunson needs to go for 52. I don't think Brunson needs to go to 52 to win. I'm not under that thinking. But if nobody else is bringing it, then yes, he should get 52. But I think Towns can show up tonight. I think Towns is going to take the challenge personal. But listen, that's all I got for you guys, man. This was a long pod. I do appreciate all of you guys for rocking with me, man. Tonight is a big game. I want to give a big time salute to all the channel members. Keith, who just tapped in. Of course, J-Tap, Crim's dad, Yuri, right? Knicks will be chance 25-26. All of the channel members, everybody who tapped in. Salute to Darlene Bryant. Salute to my man Nick Yak, right? Salute to who else? Yoga. Of course, the great Maxine. Still Knicks fans. By the way, I'm not sure if Still Knicks fans is in the building. I think Still Knicks fans has a show tonight. Make sure you go check that show tonight. For Still Knicks fans weekly. Let's see, Juan Rivera. Salute to everybody that tuned in, man. That's all I got for you guys today. Let's go Knicks. I'm expecting the Knicks to win tonight or game 2. Oh, also game 2, I will be doing a post-game show after midnight show around midnight. Look for that in the schedule. And of course, we got the Knicks call-up show on Friday. All right. Knicks call-up show on Friday. Post-game show Wednesday night. Look out for it. No post-game show tonight. Sorry. Got too much stuff to do. But Wednesday night, post-game show, okay? All right. So that's all I got for you guys, man. And don't count yourself out. And until next time, let's go Knicks and Knicks in 7.